Welcome back, everyone, to oh my god, I almost said the wrong podcast name. Catholic Window. Jesus Christ, what a long morning.
Bro isn't growing or showing. Jeez.
It's me, it's Luke. We're here. It's your favorites, longest running fitness podcast in the industry. Probably it's up there for sure,
Mate, it's definitely up there. Who's
It's
probably
crazy.
beating us? Revive Stronger, for sure.
What's it? 3DMJ.
Yeah. I don't think there's many that are as irrelevant as us that are still going.
Yeah, you've only the only ones still going are the really
know what?
popular, the really popular ones. To be fair, it's all the education ones, isn't it? You got Revive Stronger, RP, J3, 3DMJ. Fucking hell, it's a lot of acronyms.
No, but there aren't. I'm more thinking ones that are like more sit down chat shit. Like you've got It's Just Bodybuilding, which is probably my favorite bodybuilding podcast.
Yep.
I love that. I don't know. Do you listen to them?
I do on occasion, but not all the time.
Oh, mate, best like driving or cardio thing ever. Love it, mate. Honestly,
I've been enjoying. This is a bit of a rogue one, but I've been enjoying the Louis Theroux podcast, mate.
What is that about?
Oh, do you not know Louis Theroux?
Yeah, but not like really.
Oh, so for those who don't know, because we've got an audience with us, so I'm trying to find a comfortable place to sit down. Got my meal next to me. Louis Theroux is an English documentarian, or British, whatever, who's famous for, I don't know, being quite good at talking and being quite an entertaining guy and quite a character. And yeah, so he has this podcast where he just sits down with celebrities, he interviews them. It's quite interesting because he has a really good way of pulling information out of people and making them feel comfortable. And he interviews people who either kind of are in the public eye a lot or used to be, and you don't hear so much, or people with like some controversial stuff going on and he confronts them with it a little bit. It's just very interesting.
Any episodes you'd recommend to start with?
There's
no one that's really jumping out to me.
The Little Sims one's quite good. The Heady one is quite good. It's interesting to hear just how like
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, the Willem Dafoe one was quite good. That was a fun one.
Okay.
He did Belle Delphine and Mia Khalifa, which I haven't got around to.
God,
it'll be interesting to hear that. I'm listening to the Kids.
What was it?
At the minute.
Oh, Lily Phillips went on trigonometry. That was an episode and a half, mate.
Really?
They're just trying to ask her like really deep, meaningful questions, and she's just a retard. Like, it's so funny. It's so funny. She just can't process it. I can't bring myself to listen to the Me and Khalifa one.
I'm gonna give it a go. The thing is, like,
Belle Delphine discusses selling her bathwater.
Yeah.
Oh God, love it,
mate. I really like Louis Theroux. I just find him very, very entertaining. I could watch pretty much anything he puts out. So I'm
yeah. Oh, the chick that was in iCarly playing Sam went on it.
Yeah. Mate, she's got a really interesting.
Yeah, I'll listen to that.
Yeah,
okay, that's fair.
That is a good one. What's she called? Jeanette McCurdy. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's it. Fucking hell. Mate, it doesn't feel like it's been long since we spoke because I saw you on Saturday. It's a big leg session at B-Modified Gym. Anyone that was in it is within 2 hours of Derbyshire. You have to go there. It's such a good place. Not too busy. Way better than Ultraflex Derby in my opinion, because it's not teething with the day pass is half the price and it's just as good and it's not as busy. I can see that. To be fair, it was nice to be able to. What are the pros of Ultraflex Derby? The name.
I quite like the fact that it feels like a competitive gym. Like you walk in there and I feel kind of I feel like there's a little bit of competition in there. Kind of same as my gym. Like people are friendly when you talk to them, but there's a lot of people and there's a lot of big people and there's a lot of strong people. And And like, yeah, I mean, that's cool. Like, you know, it's nice to have access to equipment, but I feel like I think I thrive off of quite a lot of like being competitive.
Hmm.
And I definitely find, yeah, just like seeing people who are further along tends to push me a bit further along, you know.
Okay, yeah, fair.
But I prefer Derby to Rotherham. I think Rotherham's great, but you have to ask yourself, if those personalities didn't train out of Rotherham, would it really be that good? And I think the answer is just no.
Yeah. Do you know what I heard? I thought of this the other day. What people should just say my gym.
What, you think the coach is the best one?
No, I said what?
What?
I said Kuba should just say my gym, not my bar.
Oh, so I think you were saying your gym was the best.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
be so
Ku-
funny.
Kuba's a funny one. Kuba's a funny one. I quite like. To be fair, I do quite like the shed. The shed's quite a nice gym. It's a good mix of you. I feel like I want a good mix of
Mate, I've
like
never been there.
really.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good mix of a bit of competitive, but also a bit friendly as well. The coach is nice. I like the coach. The coach is up there.
Well, it's not actually the shed anymore, mate, is it?
No, it's just TBJP gyms.
But there's only one of them.
Well, I think it's going to be a franchise. But obviously,
Right.
I know Jordan wants to make it a franchise, but obviously it's difficult now because he's solo funding.
But he put most of the money in anyway, right?
I don't know. I don't know
I
to
swear
be.
that's what happened.
It's
I don't
possible.
know. We're just chatting shit now.
Yeah, I can only really hypothesize.
Should we talk about something interesting?
Yeah, go on then. What do you want to talk
Yeah.
about?
I sent you a reel.
You did, Ben Yanes.
Yes, about this new lat exercise.
What's it called? Keenan Flaps. I saw this the other day.
Mate, what a name. Who,
Yeah,
like, what, bruv? Come on, surely not.
yeah. Whoever
Yeah,
Keenan is.
exercise for laps.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it?
yeah. I'm trying to think of a better name to be fair. A side pull. Um, I guess you could just call it adduction, couldn't you? Um,
Yeah. Humeral adduction. Great name.
yeah.
Cups,
There you go.
cups humeral adduction.
Yeah, so I think it's one of those exercises where it's like, yeah, sure, that does work, but I think Ben summarizes it quite well. Like, yeah, you can do that, but why would you?
I haven't actually watched the reel.
Yeah, he basically was like, yeah, he was talking about how you're going to get quite a lot of sensation out of them, which doesn't mean that they're fantastic, but they're a little bit annoying to set up. Arguably, progressing them over a really long period of time will be a bit annoying. And he was like, it's a lot of setup for not a lot back, which is interesting from Ben, because Ben is the poster boy for setting it up as complicated as possible for very, very minor gains, which I get it. His whole thing is like, hey, you could do this and here's all the benefits. It's like Newton extensions, I think they're called.
Newton extensions.
Yeah, like where either you rest your arm against the back of a cable stack and push down, or you have you have a cable.
Oh, that's what it's called. I did
Yeah,
that yesterday.
it's that, or there's a cable restraint pulling from the other stack. I think those are called Newton extensions. But I see people are obsessed with them, and it's like, okay, cool, whatever. But
I did it. Yeah, I did it yesterday. It feels all right. It's just another option.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But
I find
think,
it's quite nice to actually have sort of be driving yourself into shoulder extension as you're doing the elbow extension, because that's another thing that the long head can do. But
yeah,
again, it's not fucking magic. So the reason why people might want to do this is because as you pull down with the lat, because the lat wraps around your rib cage, once your humerus sort of gets in line with your body and the bone starts to go past it, the lat can't pull you back anymore. It's just trying to pull across. So what they're trying to do is just mimic that adduction motion. And maybe you could make the argument the most similar thing that we've got in the body would be, the glutes do hip extension, abduction, and external rotation as well. And you go, right, well, a lot of people do abduction stuff, so maybe that makes some sense there. It's not exactly the same sort of thing, but it's probably the closest similarity we've got. But yeah, I think as long as you're doing some lat work pretty much adducted anyway, you're ticking that box off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like an extra thing that you could try for a while.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's still, it just, for me, a lot of it comes down to like, you can, but why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's, I think, okay, the best way I can phrase it, if let me elaborate on that, is anyone who is programming to that extent where that is a genuinely useful movement or genuinely like needed, anyone who is that far along probably has the know-how to understand that they can just set up a cuff and directly challenge that pattern of motion. They don't need to kind of like learn it as an exercise or as like a particular like a name for it. So for example, like if I'm teaching people, or if me and Camille are helping people like rehab an injury, and we might be like, you know, we might come to the conclusion of like, okay, internal rotation of your hip is kind of crap and there would be benefit to training that. And then of course, classic PT coach question is like, how do I train that? We'll set up a cuff that pulls you into external rotation and internally rotate against it. Like, and what's that exercise called? Like, I literally just I made it up. Like, I literally was just like, let's just have a cable resist you and do that. And I think, you know, I don't need to know that that's called like, you know, a Schultz rotation or something.
Yes.
Like, do you know what I mean?
This
like,
is what I want to be known for.
Yeah, hip internal rotation against resistance. And like, I think that's the thing, is like, it's one of those exercises where people like to uncover and dig up these things, and it's like, again, like there's application to it, there's application for everything, but I don't think that people need to obsess about it. It's kind of the lift of the month, I guess.
Oh yeah, mate. No one will be doing this in a few months' time.
You know, when we were getting into coaching and everyone was like hating on cuffs, and we were kind of like, this is very silly, and they were like, oh, it's so over-engineered. Are we just getting old now? Are we like, now that Keenan flaps are out, maybe we're like, oh, it's so over-engineered? Is this what's happening? It's just a cycle. I feel like it is just overly engineered. But yeah, sometimes I see things and like, again, it like, if it has a time and it has a place, then go for it. But
I feel like you could probably do it standing, to be honest.
Oh.
Because you can't tell me that there's so much. I really doubt they're going to be using so much load that it's genuinely going to be a challenge to stay in position.
True.
Like if you anchor yourself against the other side of the cable stack and just hold on to it, surely that's fine. And now I haven't tried it, so I could be entirely fucking wrong. But
well, I was thinking that if it got really heavy, you'd feel very one-sided. It'd be really, that'd be very unbalanced, wouldn't it? Like even on a sat down on a bench, just having like half your body, like kind of almost pulled up by the cable stack, and the other half just kind of sat there, feel very, very one-sided. Yeah, it's just a very weird exercise. I remember that. Do you follow? I try and stay up to date with a few of them just to see what they post. Do you follow Coach Mundy at all? Do you know of him?
No, who's that?
He's one of the him and like TNF, or Teen Nutrition Fitness, are like the big proponents of like, Coach Mundy is like pretty much a 0 to 1 RIR, 1 set per body part per week, and 5 to 8 reps.
1 set per body part per week.
Yeah, or like what? 1 set per lift. We can cover that in a sec. But
fucking hell.
Yeah, he posts some stuff, and I'm like, interested. I kind of follow them just to be like, okay, let's see what the industry thinks. But he posted up one that I really, really liked, where he was like, here's my back of me doing only frontal lat work, and then here's my back, and obviously it's the same picture of me rotating between sagittal and frontal lat work. And I was like, yeah, I like that. It's like, he's like, look, from a muscle growth perspective, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, there's other benefits, like joint integrity or exercise variety, whatever. But as long as you're challenging the musculature from a growth standpoint, it's going to be pretty much the same. And I think a lot of people need to hear that. Like, again, I think it still comes down to the principle of, yes, you can, but why would you? unless you can give me a good reason for why you would. If you love a Keenan flap, cool, go for it. It's going to work. But if you're like, oh, my back's crap, what's the missing link? Is it this? It's probably not.
Yeah. How you perform what you're already doing is going to be far more important than just adding in one movement.
Yeah, I think particularly people who are younger to the gym and a bit newer haven't really got the like stamina of like, okay, I'm not noticing progress, therefore I need to make a difference. Whereas myself or you, like, I'm like, okay, my arms are a bit crap, so I'm not thinking, how do I add more arms? Every time I go and train arms, I'm like, right, I need to make sure that this is nailed down. Like, I've got legs today, I'm starting off with biceps. I'm gonna really make sure I'm very, very present during those sets, make sure they're very, very good. But I'm not gonna go into my leg day and be like, right, I've got an hour left, how much arms can I get through? Like, but I think it's tempting when you're newer to the gym to be like, right, this isn't working, what's next? Rather than focusing on like, I know this is something I'm bad at, I'm going to get as good as I can, It's I guess this relates a little bit to that reel I posted, I don't know if you saw, where I was like, true knowledge is knowing when to apply it rather than just universally applying it or never applying it.
Yeah, I like that.
People are like, oh, I'd never use a cuff. I bet you're a twat. Because if you genuinely are saying I would never do that, you are a twat, because there's definitely applications for it. Yep. But equally, if someone's like, oh, I use a cuff for everything, you're like, okay, interesting, why? And they're like, because it's better. Can you walk me through how it's better? And they're like, no, not really. And you're like, okay, then yeah, you're also an idiot. Like, unless you have a reason to do it, don't do it.
Yeah, it's I had this yesterday. I was taking a guy through his first session, and he's got some history of some shoulder shit, and we're going through a couple of different movements there, and we try like a cuff lateral raise and bring that up to sort of on the top of the arm, because when it's just sort of around the forearm, that's when he gets a bit more pain through the shoulder, and that's just going to be joint forcey stuff. About the other stuff around the shoulder, so you've got the rotator cuffs, you've got the biceps, etc., just having more shit to manage there. Because if you just contracted the side delt doing a lateral raise, it would pull your shoulder out of the socket, which would not be very nice there. So there's just other shit for it to manage. But anyway, we slide it up there, and that's okay. We then try sort of a cuffed front raise, a cuffed rear delt fly, and he's like, okay, well, the lateral raise feels way better than when I do it with dumbbells or when I do it with a V handle. The other two, much of a muchness, and it takes twice as long. So we're like, right, okay, let's go and do reverse pec deck and superset that with front raises, because he really likes training shoulders, and it's his first session. I'm not going to go, right, you probably don't need to do this much shoulder training. If he enjoys that, that's what I'm going to do, because then he'll come back for another session and address the other shit, which is pissing his shoulders off. But he can do that, and that's fine. So that's what we did.
Yeah, like, again, it's just, I'm going to try not to repeat myself. It comes down to, do you have a reason to? I think probably I use more complicated setups working around injury than I do trying to maximize hypertrophy. Like, in someone who's
absolutely,
yeah, in someone who's quote unquote healthy, or like has no joint issues, if we deem that healthy, like, yeah, I can pretty much just be like, right, let's train all the tissues I need to. Whereas if I'm working around like well, any myriad of issues that, like you said, that like if someone came to you and was like, Luke, I'm doing dumbbell lateral raises, I want to grow my delts, you're like, okay, let's see how you dumbbell lateral raise. You're not going to just be like, get rid of that, put a cuff on. If someone says to that same thing, you go, okay, let's see your lateral raise, and they go, oh, it really hurts, you'd be like, okay, well then, yeah, let's address that. And that's when you might get a cuff out. Again, it comes down to, like, I think this old idea that always trying to, I don't know, bias things as heavily as possible, create as much stability as possible, always like certain kind of like universal constants, I think that's not really as needed, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like how the industry's come around. What are your thoughts, right? Because I've got quite strong feelings. What are your thoughts on the word optimal?
Oh, it's just been fucking butchered.
Yeah, I hate it.
Like, which is such a shame, because 2 years ago we would have been like, yeah, it's good. Because like to me now, optimal means the absolute best thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm much more of a favor of like what is practically going to be a good idea here.
But I'd say that is optimal though. You know, like I think the one thing about optimal that used to bug me is people would say like, oh, is barbell bench optimal? And I'd be like, for who? Because it's an impossible question to answer. Or like people would be like, this lift is more optimal than this lift. You'd be like,
it's funny because the people that will say are like, you should barbell squat, you should barbell bench press, it's really, really good. That lift is optimal for them. Like it suits their structure really fucking well. And you're like, okay, fucking do it.
But even things as like I guess the one thing I always I struggle to like articulate, and I really want to get out there, is it's not when I say like do what feels good or do what you enjoy, that's not a cop out, that's not a trade-off, that's not me saying like, okay, over here there's the barbell bench press and you love that and that's great, but this chest press, bro, is way more optimal, but actually you should focus on enjoyment. Like, no, I'm saying that if you enjoy one more than the other, then that's quite literally, by very definition of the word, is more optimal because it is more ideal. And in that instance, the barbell bench press is going to grow you more than any machine press ever will, because assuming that they carry like assuming that you got no issues with it and like it does actually grow you okay and fits your structure, like if you love it, that's not a trade-off, that's not a cop-out, that's not me trying to like make people feel better about themselves, it just is better. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah.
I think I was talking to Neo about this, and he used it for a caption. Neo, my client Neo.
Oh yeah.
And he used it for a caption for a post because I said he could, but I said,
what a scumbag.
I said people treat optimal, which I hate as a word, or like what's best, as like walking a tightrope. You've got very little room for error, whereas I think of it more as like walking down a narrow street. You've actually got quite a lot of wiggle room side to side, but as long as you're on that street, you're moving as quickly as you can. You know, I think people treat it as like, oh, this is perfect, I don't want to add one more intensifier, I don't want to add one more set, I don't want to lose one set. Like they treat it like walking a tightrope. Oh, my biceps have been growing quite well on the prime preacher curl, so if the prime preacher curl is out of action, I can't do a different preacher curl, it has to be the prime, it has to be loaded in this way, it has to be done. Like, no, I think it's probably just the fact that you were doing a preacher curl, or maybe it's the fact you started training it first. Like, if you ask me what's a good amount of volume for my side delts, I'd say anywhere from 10 to 12 sets probably grows me pretty damn similarly. So I tend to err on the side of like 10 when I'm dieting. And then I might, just for the sake of like covering my bases, go to 12 in a gaining phase. But again, I really don't think it's like, oh, you've maximized your growth potential, one more set, waste of time, one less set, you're losing out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like again, this is a Coach Mondayism. He put up a picture of like, here's someone with a full head of hair, and then it was the same picture, and he was like, here's someone who lost 3 strands of hair. And basically the point is, it's like, look, fundamentally, who cares if it's on such a small scale? Like, it literally doesn't matter. You know, which I can definitely get behind. It sounds like I'm agreeing with everything Mr. Elijah Mundy says. I don't agree with everything he says, but
what's his Instagram?
Coach_Mundy. So the biggest thing I disagree with him on is volume. He's got the Paul Carter way of thinking about volume, in that the first set is maximally stimulating and every set after that is a significant drop off. What would it be like exponentially decreasing drop off? So he's like, basically just do one set and nail it, and that will get you most of the growth, which I can agree with, but probably not with one set. I don't think it's quite that low. You know, I do agree in the idea that there's a certain amount of minimum effective volume that you probably do need to get into, particularly as you get bigger and stronger. There's a certain amount of stimulus you have to create, and I don't think everyone can always do that in one set, just because of the bounds of what you can do in one set. Like, I know people be like, I train really hard, and it's like, if it's one straight set, I don't care how hard you train, I really don't think you're getting majority of the growth that you can. If you start moving towards 2 to 3, I could maybe see it, but even then I want to know how much weekly volume you're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think about people saying the Paul Carterism of volume? How much do you know about it to critique it?
What does he say? I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head what he recommends total volume wise. I
Um,
know set numbers he likes for rep numbers he likes 4 to 8. He's a wanker.
yeah. Do you want to talk about like 5 to 8, 4 to 8? What do you think about that?
Oh, it's just so unnecessarily specific.
Yeah,
Like, even between me and you, there's differences in the rep ranges we like. We've had this before. I'm like, yeah, I quite like 10 to 15, and you're like, more like that 8 to 12 sort of thing. Like, there's
yeah,
overlap. That's cool. That's a generalization. I'll do a fucking set of 8 on, I don't know, when is the last time I did a set of 8? RDLs, maybe, leg press, that
yeah.
sort of thing. I'm not doing it on a fucking lateral raise. Are you
No.
insane? Fuck that shit.
But the comeback to that is Paul and adjacent people say if you can't do a set of 5 to 8 on an exercise, you've got more to worry about than growth. The implication being like you've got some underlying joint concerns or execution concerns. And
Right.
I think, sure, maybe there's something in that. Like, but equally, you've also got to think about the jumps in load that you're able to use. Like if you're doing a dumbbell lateral, there is only so little that you can jump. And equally as well, it's like, okay, well then let's say that I do have an issue with my joints. Let's say that I don't take care of my shoulders well enough. So therefore low rep laterals don't work for me. What's your feedback then? Continue to do 5 to 8? Like surely then the feedback would be, okay, adjust the rep range, address the issue. And in that case, it's like, well, if I adjust the rep range and I don't get the issue, then can I not just keep on with that? Do you know what I mean? Feels oddly specific. The main argument is literally just like quote unquote fatigue management with 5 to 8, in that they're not saying that when we say like 5 to 30 is best, they agree, but they say they will give similar levels of growth, but 5 to 8 is less fatiguing, is the idea behind it, basically. What do you think?
I just don't fucking care.
Yeah. Again,
like I just don't care.
I don't.
It's so jarring.
Again, it comes down to like, do you have a reason to? Like, yeah, I might be doing sets of 10 to 15 on a leg press, and that's probably fatiguing me more than if I did a 5 to 8. But my joints are happy, my quads are growing, and I don't feel absolutely shafted by it. So if fatigue isn't a concern, then why should I be concerned? You know, it's like, yeah, I could drop fatigue, but it's not that bad. You know, like I think maybe that's the principle of a lot of lifts at the minute, like with Keenan flaps. It's like, oh, I'm removing so many different muscles, so therefore it's just my lats that are holding me back. It's like, well, was anything holding you back in the first place? Were you really, you know, feeling like grip or forearm or bicep on your pull downs? Because if you weren't, then it's kind of a redundant point, no?
Yeah, and again, it's like, okay, well, are you just going to do Keenan flaps for your lats? No, probably not, right?
Yeah.
You're probably going to do some other shit, right?
Yeah.
So fucking crack on with that.
But also, you know, I mean, granted, we don't do pull downs. Well, I don't know. I was going to say we don't really do pull downs for other musculature, but again, like it's nice that things have overlap sometimes. Like I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that there's some small degree of bicep and forearm stimulus in a pull down. You know, like, yeah, I still want my lats to be a limiting factor, but I mean, there's still some stimulus there, particularly for newer people. Like, that's not an insignificant amount of stimulus. And as long as their back is the weakest link, the thing that gives out, then cool. I think the obsession with like isolating so many things is going to lead people to have really long and complicated programs, because it's going to be like, you're going to be doing like cuffed cable curls to remove your grip, and then do direct forearm and grip training, and then do like direct back training with no arms in it. It's like you're doing 3 or 4 different exercises when you could be doing like 1, maybe 2, you know?
One of the guys at the gym showed me this guy, he'll do like literally fucking 2 sets on every single exercise. So like he'll train his grip both ways, and then he'll do some fucking radial deviation, and then he'll do his bicep work, and it's like literally a 4-hour long session. I'm like,
Jesus.
This must be a joke, surely. Like, this is a joke, right?
I started when I had some forearm tendonitis, so I trained every joint action of my wrist and forearm. So I did grip, I did flexion, extension, supination, pronation. Like those were the main ones I needed to do. And then as the tendonitis got better, I looked at what would annoy it the most, and I kept that in. And so now I tend to do more pronation and extension, and less so grip, flexion, supination. Nice background, mate. Because
Yeah,
that
I
tends
just
to
looked
be,
at it and I was like, where the fuck is my background?
mate. It keeps doing that to me as well. But again, it's like you've got to program. That's again me programming based on needs. Because yeah, I'm making the session slightly shorter, and I'm not replacing that time with anything. But I could if I wanted to, and even then, it just makes the session a bit more sustainable. Recovery's a bit better, yada yada yada. But again, why do something that you just don't need to? Oh, is he here? Well, this is going to need me to edit it. Brilliant. Are we back?
There we go. We are back in black,
What just
as
happened?
AC/DC says. I've got no idea, mate. I took a picture and then my Wi-Fi died.
All right. Well, we're back, mate. We're back. All right. So we've got a couple minutes left. What do you want to round off on? What do you want to conclude on?
Give you a funny story. So
Give you.
I'll
cool.
give
Yeah.
you a funny story.
God, yeah.
Paul told me this a little while ago.
Yeah.
So he used to work at David Lloyd, right?
Yep.
And he was there one Saturday morning, like peak time, 9 a.m. Everyone's coming in, you know, it's getting busy, right? And there's this big bodybuilder bloke on the Smith machine. He's doing calf raises, and he's got like one of those boxes underneath his feet. And as he unracks 160, the box slides out from underneath him.
Oh, no.
And his legs snap backwards. So he's underneath the Smith machine, 100 and something kilos, caught on the bottom of the rack, no safeties on there. And obviously this is a big bloke, like 100, 120 kilos, this dude. They're trying to get him out. And it took an hour before they could get him on a stretcher and get him out of the gym. And as they're taking him out of the gym, right, they're carrying him down on this stretcher. There's a couple being shown around the gym, like seeing if they want to join and get a membership, all that good stuff. And they go, oh my God, what's happened to him there? And stone face, he takes the mask off and goes, leg day.
Did he like properly invert his knees?
Yeah, man, he got fucked up.
Oh man, that poor guy. That poor guy. I mean, what he had? What, you doing a 160 box squat?
No, calf raise.
Oh,
Yeah, it was not ideal.
yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. I'd smith it.
No, it was on the car. It was on the Smith machine.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. I'm with you. Oh, okay. So he was stood on a box and the box went out from under him.
Yeah. Did I not tell that well, or are you preppy?
Mixture of both, probably.
Valid. Right, I need to go and eat.
Yeah. The moral of the story is stand on plates, everyone. Thank you all for listening. If you want coached by Luke, it is at LacticAddictLuke on Instagram. If you want to get coached by me, then go to your nearest aviary, find a messenger pigeon, write your inquiry on that and send that over, and that will go to Jack_Archer Academy on Instagram. Until the next one, thank you all for watching, and bye.